Hello, friends. Welcome to the Motivation Broadcast. I am Dr. Lloyd, and I'm here again today to try to clear up a couple of things, over these next few weeks. And one of them is John 3:16, that verse. I'm starting to notice more and more that this term Christian is starting to get watered down, and everyone has sort of formed this gray type colorless matter to where everyone is just connected together claiming the name Christian, trying to be the server of Christ. No matter what they're doing, no matter what kind of lifestyle they live, I saw a video of a well-known rapper and MC. He went into using profanity and saying all type of vulgar things and rhyming and rapping. And then he said, now let me give you the gospel version. I'm going to give you the Christian version, he said, because you got to love the man upstairs. This is what he called the Most High. And he began to rap, and this time he left out all the vulgarity and the curse words. And he started trying to use little wisdom and some colloquialisms and so forth. So he claimed to be a Christian and a server of the Most High. However, he still had profane profane babblings out of his mouth. His conversation was not seasoned with salt. And I really contribute this to most of these false preachers and false ministers not telling it like it is according to these scriptures and really teaching the true gospel because they indeed are false. So what I'm going to do today is I want to talk about a verse that's really been taken out of context, and it's really sort of sent a divide between those that are true and those that are not. All right. And I'm talking about the verse of John 3:16. Okay, so I'm going to expound on that, and hopefully there'll be some more clarity when it comes to understanding John 3:16. Okay, it reads as follows: For Yahuwah so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. And of course, I can recite that without reading it, but as most people can, but can they understand what this actually means? Okay. Now, for Yahuwah so loved the world. Now, this term world here in the scripture, basically in this context, does not mean the actual entire globe, but is focused on more the cosmos, or the place where the called and chosen dwell, those that belong to him. And when I say him, I mean Yahuwah. Those who belong to the Father where we dwell. This is what he's talking about, not the body of the human race. Okay, so this would read incorrect in its original text as such. For Yahuwah so loved the world where his called and chosen were lost. Okay, so for Yahuwah so loved the world, or where the called and chosen of his kingdom were lost, that he gave his only begotten Son, watch this, that whosoever that is lost believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. Now, we know this because there are children of the devil in the scripture, and there are children of the kingdom. Okay? You got to remember, the only nations that was called and chosen, okay? You had Judah, the southern kingdom, and you had Israel, the northern kingdom. Okay, so the called and chosen, the call went out to the nations that were predetermined, or we can say the ones that came through formerly known, the son formerly known as Jacob. All right? These are the two nations that came from him. All right. So they're children of the devil. So he could not have meant that he so loved everybody, because we know in the psalm, the psalmist says that thou or the Father hate all workers of iniquity. And we also know that the scripture reads clearly that Jacob have I loved, Esau that I have hated. Not just Esau, but his descendants throughout the generation to the third and fourth generation. So, there's a certain group of people that the Father is just never going to reconcile with. So when I hear this verse, John 3:16, being taken out of context to mean that the Father loves everybody. He loves everybody on the whole planet, no matter what you do, no matter how you do it, or this fake one that we hear nowadays. It says, Yahuwah loves the sinner, but he hates the sin. Where did this foolishness come from? You can't separate the two. Okay, if you're going to do evil, you're going to be evil. And those that do righteousness are going to be righteous. So you don't have somebody that's a sinner half the time, and then over here he's walking upright. Okay, so the proper understanding of this verse means is that for Yahuwah so loved, the place where his called and chosen dwell, where is the cosmos or this world, that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever of his lost sheep believeth in him should not perish, but they will have everlasting life. Now let's back that up again. Let's back that up. And we can do it in several places, but what I'm going to do, I'll flip over to 1 John, 1 John, well-known disciple, all right? And let's look at 1 John chapter 4, and let's read verse 9. 1 John chapter 4, verse 9. Let's see what he says here. It says, in this was manifested the love of Yahuwah toward us. Well, who's us? Who's us? That's his called and chosen, not the whole world. Okay? Towards us. Watch this. Because that Yahuwah sent his only begotten Son into, here it is, the world. All right? That we, well, who's we? We are the called and chosen. That we what? We might live through him. Glory be to his name. Do you see what that says? So what we need to do is we need to wake up and we need to start in teaching these scriptures correctly, so there can be a clear understanding when it comes to those who are called and chosen and those who are lost. Okay? There needs to be a clear understanding. If not, we're going to continue to have more of the same. Well-known pastor was just recently caught in a scandal, and he was so guilty that he ended up paying off his accusers. So now you got people in his congregation getting up, walking out right in the middle, because now they finally see, they think it takes something like that for them to see that this is a false prophet. Why? Because they're dealing in scripture that has been all misconfused, and changed to make it fit what they think it should fit. And my friends, this should not be. See? So you need to pay attention to some of these that are on YouTube putting up the truth. Not your typical Negro, Ringo for life. Some of these people that are coming up, there's many more, but those just came to my mind real quick because they do expose the false prophets on a regular basis. But you need to listen to some of them and see the truth that they are presenting scripturally. Don't fall for what these okey-doke preachers are out here preaching and teaching. Okay? Yahuwah does not love sinners. Point blank. Okay? If you're going to be in his presence, you're going to have to be a creature that was old and now became new. You're going to have to be a new creation, a new creature. Okay? This is the church he is returning for. One without spot, one without wrinkle, one without blemish. Not all this what you hear, that he's coming back for people that's flawed and people that's still living a certain lifestyle, that I'm still on drugs, but I know the Father loves me because I'm a Christian and I have on a cross. Okay? No, he's not coming back for that church. All right? He's coming back for his true called and chosen, the church without spot, without blemish, without wrinkle. And don't fall for this nonsense that you can't live holy. That's baloney. Okay? And if you can't live holy a day, try living holy for an hour. You can't live holy an hour, try living holy for a minute. Okay, but you got to start somewhere. You don't have to lie, you don't have to steal, you don't have to cheat. Just go down to 10. Glory be to his name. Until next week, I'm going to be back with another broadcast. Until then, If it be the will of Elohim, be empowered, my friend.